She lost in Rome. 3 days later, she showed up in Stockholm, stepped into the blocks for her first 100 meters in 9 months, and took over the final from the moment the gun fired. Melissa Jefferson-Wooden did not just bounce back. She sent a message to every sprinter on the planet. So what happened in Stockholm, and what does it mean for the biggest rivalry in women's sprinting right now? On June 7, 2026, at the Bauhaus Galan Diamond League meeting in Stockholm, Sweden, Melissa Jefferson-Wooden ran 10.84 seconds to win the women's 100-meter final at the 1912 Olympic Stadium. The win sounds clean on paper, but the context around it makes it mean something more. This was the first time Jefferson-Wooden had competed in the 100 meters in 9 months. After sweeping the 100, 200, and 4x100 relay at the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, she had not raced the event since. She came into Stockholm without race sharpness, without the kind of competitive timing that builds through a season. And she still won by a margin that left no doubt. Great Britain's Amy Hunt finished second in 10.97, which was a personal best for her and the first time she had broken 11 seconds in her career. Luxembourg's Patricia van der Wecken was third in 11.05. Italy's Zainab Dosso finished fifth in 11.22, and Dina Asher-Smith, one of the most decorated British sprinters of her generation, crossed in 6th place at 11.224. Jefferson-Wooden won by 0.13 seconds over the second-place finisher. In sprinting, that is a long gap. It was not a close race, it was a display. After crossing the line, Jefferson-Wooden put the performance in her own words. She said this was her first 100 meters in 9 months and her fastest ever season opener over the distance. She called it very exciting for her. That matters, because this was not the ceiling. This was the floor of what she is building toward in 2026. 3 days before Stockholm, Jefferson-Wooden was in Rome for the Golden Gala Pietro Menia Diamond League meeting. But she was not running the 100 meters. She was in the 200 meters, a race that had never happened before between her and Julien Alfred, and one the entire sprint world had been waiting on. Alfred finished in 21.93 seconds. Jefferson-Wooden ran 22.17. Alfred took the win. After the race, Alfred made her message clear. She said a win is a win, even if she wanted to go faster. She said she felt stronger than she had been and could push harder in the second half of the race. She acknowledged she expected the pressure from Jefferson-Wooden. What is worth noting is how that race unfolded at the start. Alfred was actually slower out of the blocks than Jefferson-Wooden. Jefferson-Wooden moved first, but Alfred's strength through the back end of the race, where she is one of the most dangerous finishers in the world, closed the gap and then some. Alfred won on power and composure, but there is context here too. Alfred had already raced that season. She had run a 21.86 from Austin, Texas on April 30th, which was the world lead in the 200 meters at that point in the year. She came into Rome sharp. Jefferson-Wooden came into Rome in her first individual race of the outdoor season, carrying 9 months of no race rhythm in the 100 meters and very little in the 200 meters. Jefferson-Wooden finished second. She was not embarrassed, but she did not win, and then she got on a plane to Stockholm. And 3 days later, she answered. Melissa Jefferson-Wooden was born on February 21st, 2001, in the United States. She competed at Coastal Carolina University, where she won the NCAA Indoor 60 meters title in 2022. She burst into the global conversation in 2024 when she won a bronze medal in the 100 meters at the Paris Olympics. The gold in Paris had gone to Julien Alfred of St. Lucia. Jefferson-Wooden was on the podium, clearly talented, clearly hungry, but not yet at the top of the 100-meter mountain. That changed in 2025. She went unbeaten in the 100 meters through the entire 2025 outdoor season, lowering her personal best 3 times across the year. She went to Tokyo for the World Athletics Championships, carrying the world's 3 best times in the event. And she delivered exactly what her season had promised. In the 100-meter final in Tokyo, she ran 10.61 seconds, a championship record, the 4th fastest time ever run by a woman in the history of the event, and a winning margin of 0.15 seconds, which was the 2nd largest winning margin in World Championships history. Alfred had pulled her hamstring in the warm-up and managed bronze in 10.84. But even at full health, the 2025 World Championships belonged entirely to Jefferson-Wooden. She then won the 200 meters in 21:68, making her just the first American woman and only the second woman overall, after Jamaica's Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce in 2013, to sweep the 100, 200, and 4x100 relay at a single World Championships. Her 10:61 personal best put her fourth on the all-time women's list, behind only Florence Griffith Joyner, Elaine Thompson-Herah, and Fraser-Pryce. She is 25 years old. She is already fourth on the all-time list, and she is still moving. You cannot understand what makes the Jefferson-Wooden versus Alfred rivalry so compelling without understanding exactly what Julien Alfred brought to the sport before this rivalry ever began. Alfred was born on June 10, 2001, in St. Lucia, a Caribbean island with a population of roughly 180,000 people. She grew up with almost nothing. She has spoken publicly about training on inadequate facilities, running in her school uniform, struggling without the proper equipment that athletes in bigger countries take for granted. Her father died when she was 12 years old. She moved away from St. Lucia as a teenager to seek better training environments, eventually landing at the University of Texas, where she won 7 individual NCAA titles and became the first woman in NCAA history to break 7 seconds in the indoor 60 meters. In February 2024, at the World Athletics Indoor Championships, she won the gold medal in the 60 meters, the first global senior championship gold ever won by a St. Lucian athlete of any kind. And then came Paris. At the 2024 Paris Olympics, on a rainy track at Stade de France on August 3, Alfred ran 10.72 seconds in the women's 100-meter final to win the gold medal. She beat reigning world champion Sha'Carri Richardson, who took silver. Jefferson-Wooden took bronze. Alfred's gold medal was not just the greatest moment of her career. It was the first Olympic medal of any color in any sport that St. Lucia had ever won at the Olympic Games. The government of St. Lucia later declared September 27 Julien Alfred Day in her honor. The Millennium Highway on the island was renamed after her. She came into 2026 as the reigning Olympic 100 meters champion and a 2-time Diamond League 100 meters series champion, having won the series in both 2024 and 2025. Her 21:86 200 meters in Austin in April was the world lead in that event. She was not slowing down. 2 sprinters, both born in 2001, both from small island nations. One from the Cayman Islands of the Caribbean. No, that is a different story for a different video. Both built from nothing. Both already competing at the highest level the women's sprint world can offer. Jefferson-Wooden owns the world title and the 4th fastest time in history. Alfred owns the Olympic gold and the Diamond League Series title. They split 2025. Alfred held the series. Jefferson-Wooden held the world title. They met in Rome in 2026, and Alfred took the 200 meters. They did not face each other in Stockholm. The next confirmed 100 meters clash between these two athletes is scheduled for August 23, 2026, at the Kamila Skolimowska Memorial Diamond League meeting in Silesia, Poland. That head-to-head in the 100-meter will be one of the most watched races of the year. But the picture that 2026 is already drawing is this. Alfred is running with purpose and power, carrying a world lead in the 200 meters, a Diamond League win in Rome, and the confidence of the reigning Olympic champion. Jefferson-Wooden, off 9 months without a 100 meters race, ran 10.84 in Stockholm and called it her fastest ever season opener. If 10.84 is where she starts, what does the rest of the season look like? Jefferson-Wooden is also confirmed for the Prefontaine Classic in Eugene on July 4th. That is one of the biggest Diamond League meets in the world. That race will give another checkpoint on where her season is heading. The women's 100 meters in 2026 is not a one-athlete story. It is a 2-athlete war being fought one race at a time, across different cities, different distances, and different conditions. Every result adds pressure to the next starting line. So that is the full picture. Melissa Jefferson-Wooden showed up in Stockholm, stepped into the blocks for her first 100 meters in 9 months, and took over the final. 3 days removed from a 200 meters loss in Rome, She answered with 10-84 and called it her fastest season opener ever. This rivalry is not over. It is just getting started. And if Stockholm told us anything, Jefferson-Wooden has fully taken over the 100-meter conversation, and she is not giving it back without a fight.